concrete description of unpacking, installation, debugging, and machining for CNC WDM machine. Take DK7740 for instance. Dismantle the package. There are 4 wooden cases of new WDM machines. Attention! First one is mechanical components. Second one is controller. Third one is spare parts with tools. And the last one is computer. First of all, please unpack the wooden case of mechanical components by steps when they have been unloaded well. First, remove the packing for the main machine bed. Remove all the nails on the cover of wooden case one by crowbar or hammer, and then take the cover away. Knock off iron sheets from 4 under corners. Remove 4 planks of wooden case. Unpack the wooden case of controller. Same way as unpacking wooden case of mechanical component. Take care of controller during unpacking and avoid it to be damaged. Unpack spare parts wooden case. Same way as opening wooden case of mechanical components. Take water tank, accessory box, and package of documents out of spare parts wooden case. Unpack the wooden case of computer, same way as unpacking case of WDM machine. Take out the follows from the tank. 1 piece of cable for the pump motor. Water supply tube. 2 pieces of the return water tube. Water solution 2 barrels. The power supply cable for the controller. Press meter for the tank. Small piece of workpiece. A black tubes for the pump filter. Take computer box, display, keyboard, mouse out, and letter use from the computer package. Take out the shipping list from the technical document package and check all the parts. Please read the operation manual carefully before installing and commissioning the machine. The way of hoisting the machine. Hang the machine as follows. Use 19 inches wrench or the adjustable wrench to screw off 4 fixed screws at the bottom of wooden case. Hang the belt of hoisting machine on the hoisting bar of machine itself. Adjust the belts to a suitable position. Start the hoisting machine slowly and separate the machine from the bottom of wooden case. Keep the wooden case. To avoid any accidents happened, you can put 2 cross sides under the machine. Remove 4 pieces connection with the foundation. Take off 4 pieces the fixed block. Take out the cross side from the bottom of the machine. Use wrench or the adjustable wrench to loosen 4 screws at the bottom of machine. Take off 4 pieces fixing plate and screw 4 screws on the fixing plate again. The method of hoisting the controller of the machine. First, put the hooks of the hoisting machine to the handle ring on the top of the controller. When hang belt is tightening, raise the machine slowly. Take out from the foundation and fold down the controller slowly, according to the instruction to put the machine. Pull the controller 500 mm left of WDM machine. Put the water tank beside the right of the machine bed 200 mm away from it. Install the controller. Install the controller. Take the 4 mm inner half-turn wrench out of the tools box. Remove the 2 screws on the side of the screen window. Open the glass window. Take out the key to back door of controller on the box, which is located in the drawer we put keyboard and a mouse in. Open the back door. Thread the cable for the screen from the hole on the first floor. Put the monitor into the first floor. Remove the 2 screws on the side of the screen. Put the host computer into the second floor of controller, and the front of computer face outside. Take out of the keyboard and the mouse. Pull the power cable and the data cable through the hole behind the monitor for connection with the host computer. Put keyboard and mouse into the drawer of the 3rd floor. Connect all the cables with the host computer according to the shape of the plug. Tighten all screws with screwdriver. Remove the cover of the 2 junctions on the bottom of the controller. Connect the 53 coarse BNC connector plugs to the controller. Please put the biggest concave shape towards up. Install WDM machine. Clean off all the anti-rust oil. Put the screws arbors at suitable place for later use. Please clear the anti-rust oil on the jig plate. Please find the 6mm inner Hexton spanner from accessory box. Screw off 4 pieces fixed screws at each side of jig plate. Push the jig plate to the end of negative direction of x-axis slowly. Clean all the anti-rust oil, jig plate, working table, up and down head, up and down frames, and etc. Adjust the level. Find 2 graduators and put them on the working table by 2 directions, X and Y axis. Watch the position of vacuum of graduator. If the vacuum is at the position of side of graduator, it tells this size of WDM machine is a little higher than the other side. Adjust the fit screws of the other side clockwise to increase the level of the lower side. When the vacuum is located at the middle of graduator, it tells level adjustment is down. Dismantle the fixed brackets. Dismantle the fixed brackets for X-Y axis. Remove 6 fixed blocks with 8mm spanner. Take off the fixed brackets for X-Y axis. Please keep all the brackets and the screws for future using. Take off 4 pieces hang bolt. Describing the level exactly, watch the position of vacuum of gradienter. If the vacuum is at the position of side of gradienter, it tells this size of WDM machine is a little higher than the other side. Adjust the fit screws of the other side clockwise to increase the level of the lower side. When the vacuum is located at the middle of gradienter, it tells level adjustment is down. Install the position limited of the guideway. There are 2 positive stops of the guideway on the 2 sides of each guideway. Please pay attention that there are 4 sharp positive stops. Wide and convex positive stop is used in XV guideway. Wide and planar positive stop is used in planar X guideway. Narrow and convex positive stop is used in YV guideway. Narrow and planar positive stop is used in planar Y guideway. Attention, the position stop should be fixed on XY guideway. Take off the fixed bolt on X-axis and install the screw nut angle iron for X-axis. Take off the screws on the angle iron. Move the screw nut to the angle iron. Tighten the screw to the angle iron tightly. By the same way to fix the angle iron with the screw nut for Y-axis. Install the metal sheet cover for X-axis saddle. Loose 4 screws on the side of the X saddle. With a screwdriver, take out 2 pieces of white metal sheets. Put the one with the round open hole to the hand side. Adjust its position, fix with your wrench. Move X-axis to the end along minus direction. Put another one to the other side of the saddle screw with the screws. Please make sure you fix the metal sheets well. Install the metal sheet cover for Y-axis saddle. Loose 4 screws on the side of the Y saddle with the 6 mm inner Haskin wrench under. Take out 2 pieces of narrow metal sheets. Put the one with the round open hole to the hand side. Adjust its position, fix with your wrench. Put another one to the other side of the saddle. Tighten it with the screws when you find the correct position. Attention, please move the X-axis and the Y-axis to check is there any collision with the metal sheets. If yes, please adjust it. Install the water tank. Connect the pump filter and the outlet hole of the pump with a black tube. Screw this connect tube into the outlet hole of the pump tightly with 40 mm adjustable wrench. The connecting of power supply cable for the pump motor. Take out of the cable for the pump. Take a gross screwdriver from the tools box. Use this screwdriver to screw off the 2 screws on the cover of the junction box, which is on the top of the pump motor. Screw the 3 screws which signed W1, V1, U1 with your hand. Take off the box for threading on the junction box, the cable, and take off the rubber ring on the hole side. Take out the power supply cable for pump motor. Pull this cable through the N-shaped hole on the cover, the rubber ring, the corduroy base orderly, and screw this junction box tightly, and put it back to the position. Connect PE to the position which signed connecting ground. Screw all the screws tightly. Connect the 3 heads signed W3, V3, U3 of the cable to the junction pole signed W1, V1, U1 random. Screw the nut tightly. Put the cover back on top of the junction box. Screw 2 screws tightly. Take 2 transparent pipes and take 2 snap rings from the toolbox. Put snap rings on the water supply tube, a white transparent tube, and connect the input hole of the machine bed with the output hole of the water tank using this tube and screw rings tightly with a screwdriver. Put back the cover on the top of the tanker carefully. Take out the pressure gauge. Seal the screw thread of the pressure gauge for the pump. Take a wrench, open-end 14 mm wrench out of the tools box, and screw the pressure gauge tightly with this wrench. Pull one side of the thicker blue tube on the drain hole, which can be found under the metal sheet cover on negative Y direction. Pull the other hand into the first and the biggest clip hole on the water tank. Pull the thinner blue tube on hole of the drain notch, which locates at front of the wire wing drum. Pull the other head into the second clip hole. Pull the water supply tube into the third clip hole on the water tank. Connect the power supply cable of pump motor to the machine bed. Open the BNC connect plugs cover and connect the green 5-course cable with it. Screw it tightly. Please pay attention to the direction. Tighten it. Take out the cable for the controller. Take off the cover for the plug. Insert the cable to the plug and tighten it. Connect another end to the power supplier. Take off the cover of the water tanker. Mix BM4 environment protected working fluid with water according to the ratio 1:20. Fill 2/3 of the tanker. Put the cover back to the tank. Start the power. Turn on the main switch on the middle of the controller. Turn it DC from 0 off position to 1 on position. Open the emergency button on the operation panel. Be sure the red emergency button be on. Press button Power on the control panel. Turn the wire broken protection button to 0 position. If the machine with the old type wire broken protection, please let it stand up. Move the X-Y axis to the middle of the work table. Make sure the limited is not under pressing. Please make sure the wire winding drum is in middle and none of the limited button is under pressing. Open the door for the host computer. Start the computer. Debugging the pump. Click the wire on the controller, then start the pump. Check whether the working fluid outflow from the pump leaking pipe or not. If the working fluid outflow from the pump, it means the pump is normal. If there is no working fluid streaming, there must be 2 reasons. There is air in the tube leading to the fluid cannot stream out, the motor running along a wrong direction. First, eliminating the air inside the tube. Inject part of working fluid into pump leaking pipe, eliminating the air inside. Start the wire on the controller. Then, start the pump. When the working fluid outflow from the pump leaking pipe, it means the pump is debugged correctly. If the working fluid cannot flow out, please disconnect the power switch on the water tank. Open pump motor lid and exchange 2 connection ties on the 3-phase feeding post. And then test again whether the liquid is outflow. When the working fluid outflow from the pump leaking pipe, it means the working system of the water tank is normal. At this time, seal the screw mouth with the belt, and then tighten the pipe with 40 mm pipe wrench. Coiling the electrode wire. People stand behind the machine and face to wire winding drum. Move the stroke rams to maximum distance. Take out of the electrode wire from the tools boxes. Screw off the nut of the protruding axis of coiling wire part. Coil the electrode wire around the protruding axis of coiling wire part. Tighten the wire nut to prevent the electrode plate off. Click SQ1 button on the wire winding control panel. Start the white button and make the wire winding drum run towards right direction. When the left of the wire winding drum coming to the undercoiling position, click the white button once again to stop wire winding drum. Start the wire running up and the wire running down button. Choose the slowest speed to 4 for wire running. Lose the limited position stroke ramps. Adjust the positions to make it press down SQ2 button. Find the end of the electrode wire. Pull it to the left of the wire winding drum with your hand. And then fix it to the small screw with cross screwdriver. Adjust the wire round the back of a row. The electrode wire cross the wire round to the wire winding drum. Rotate the wire winding drum to inside direction by hand to make sure the electrode wire uniform coiled. Hold the roller of the moly wire to keep it running well. Adjust the stroke ramps to the right. Buttress the electrode wire disc by your left hand with a little bit strength. Start the running button by your right hand. Turn off the running button until finishing the coiling process. Thread the electrode wire to the machine. After finishing the coiling, cut off the electrode wire. Attention! Keep off the electrode plate of the protruding axis of the coiling wire part. Have the wire end on the right hand. Buttress the drum by the left hand. Make sure the wire passes through the rear white lead wheel of the down cantilever to V-groove of the down guide wheel by the electrified block of the down cantilever to V-groove of the up guide wheel and return to the wire winding drum by the electrified block, the wire broken protection stick, the rear wire lead wheel of the up cantilever. Then fix the wire end to the block and rotate the wire winding drum backward. If you purchase Baoma's Big Taper CNC wire cut EDM, please refer the crossing wire as below. Pass the wire through the wire rod block of down protection box with broken wires to V-groove of the down guide wheel by the electrified block of the down cantilever to V-groove of the up guide wheel and return to the wire winding drum by the electrified block, the wire broken protection stick, the rear white lead wheel of the up cantilever. Tighten wire. Adjust the delivery wire speed to 1 or 2. Remark maximum speed or middle speed. Click SQ1 and start the running button. Turn the wire winding drum to the beginning coiling wire position and turn on the coiling wire button to stop coiling wire. Take out tighten wire from the accessory case. Hold it on the right hand. Put the electrode wire of the wire winding drum into the V-groove of tighten wheel. Push down SQ2 button by the left hand. Start the running button to make the wire winding drum clockwise rotate. Turn off wire running button. Hold the loosened electrode wire. Push the wire winding drum by the left hand. Take down the wire that have been fixed on the bolt of the drum. Make sure the wire tighten and then retighten it. Push the drum clockwise to make the wire coiled about 1 mm. Turn the stroke ramps to SQ2 button and hold down the button. Tighten the screw of the stroke ramps. Start the running button. Make the electrode wire of the drum rotated clockwise and arrive at the limited position. Turn off the wire running button. Push the left stroke ram. Press down SQ2 button and tighten the screw. Regulate wire. Screw the broke wire protection switch to 1 if adopt the broken wires in eccentric block protection device. You need to put the rubber column on the wire electrode. Check the molybdenum wire whether across down arm back a range pulley, down arm electric block enter forward down a range pulley V mode, upper range pulley V mode, upper arm a range stick, upper arm electric block, upper arm wire broken protection, upper arm back a range pulley, enter to back drum. Check the back drum cover placed rightly. Check the up arm and header watertight shutter placed rightly. Fix the workpiece on the beam. We can adjust the datum as required of workpiece. Adjust the coil holder. When the thickness of workpiece is above the distance between up arm and the beam, adjust for coil holder need according to the following steps. Firstly, unscrew up arm bolt by the spanner with 6 inside angles. Take handle from accessory box and shake the longer end of handle into the middle jack in column top block surface. Shake the handle clockwise to increase line aircraft. Shake the handle counterclockwise rotation will lower the frame line. Secondly, take off the handle after coil holder reach to the required height. Finally, screw up arm bolt by the spanner. If you purchase Baoma's Z-axis auto up-down, please do as below. First, unscrew up arm bolt by the spanner with 6 inside angles. Second, open the stop switch of behind the column to confirm the status of switches in a pop-up. Third, click the up white button above the switch to increase the coil holder. Click the down white button above the switch to reduce coil holder. Fourth, after the coil holder reduced to the height at your request, open the switch and make sure the switch is opened. Finally, screw the up arm bolt by spanner with 6 inside angles. Take straight screwdriver from accessory box, loose or take away the fixed copper screw on 6-degree cover. Put a cube workpiece on the going to be cut workpiece. Make sure they are vertical. Adjusted for high frequency parameters of power to 1, pulse wise 2, interpulse 9. Turn on while running on, off. Then turn on high frequency on, off, using mouse click process, and then click high frequency. Check the voltmeter whether raised to 100 volt. Adjust the button of the UV axis on the step motor and adjust the UV palette to the middle position. Turn white handle, make molybdenum wire close to a cube surface slowly. If cube down appears spark, then turn V-axis motor clockwise. If cube up appears spark, then turn V-axis motor counterclockwise until the spark appear averagely on the cube surface. At last, Y-axis vertical adjust is finished. Turn around the cube 90 degrees. Turn X handle. Make molybdenum wire close to cube surface slowly. If cube down appears spark, then turn U-axis motor counterclockwise. If cube up appears spark, then turn U-axis motor clockwise until the spark appear averagely on the cube surface. At last, X-axis vertical adjust is finished. Close high frequency and running wire button on the land. To take off cube workpiece. Cutting process. Here, we show the programming and the cutting. Enter into the interface or processing state. Open the keyboard and click Exit back to the main interface. And click the program. Click Circular Arc. Click Circular. Input X, Y axis coordinate and radius. For example, 0, 0, 2.5. Enter. Click Enter. Click ESC to enter Draw Circular Arc. Click Exit. Enter. Zoom in and zoom out. Take 2 points to ensure zoom size. When take the second point, left mouse is large, the right mouse is small. Click ESC. Click Leading and Lead Out Line. Click Angle Method. Input lead line length, for example, 2.5 mm. Then click Enter and input angle degree, for example, as 270 degrees. Click Enter. Show the end of leading line, BX, BY. Input coordinate for the end on draw to leading line or click one point on the draw. Click Enter. Choose the direction for it with left or right click of the mouse. Go back to the page of programming painted and click Next one or Next two will show offset. Input single side offset F equal 0.1. The moly wire diameter is 0.18. Click Enter. Click Next. Click Form Lists or G-code. Click Saves. Input name, for example, 123. Click Enter. Click Exit. Click back to main menu. Click Process. Click Read. Click Read G-code. Choose file 123. After complete program, go to the side of machine to choose the start cutting position and fix the watertight shutter. Then we start the parameter choosing button. Choose parameters as required. Start while running button, pump button, high frequency button. Adjust the switch of water pump and 4 water valves under upright column. Working liquid below round the moly wire. Click the cutting. The machine will start working. After complete cutting, the machine will stop automatically. Close the computer power supply and the controller power supply. Take off the workpiece